Hey everyone, Shannon Keebler with Empower Consulting, and we are talking about Volume 2, second grade, specifically Unit 6 routine called Math Mountains for 100 or for two-digit numbers. So this is going to be an add-on routine just for this unit. Go back and see my other videos for the routines and how they change throughout Volume 2 and through Volume 1. But for this particular routine, you'd probably be doing your money flip chart. You would probably be doing your show addition two ways, although at this point in the year, students are rewriting their equations themselves, doing two different algorithms, maybe show all totals and new totals above, as well as a proof picture. So we know those are staples, but now in this part of the year, every unit adds on an additional routine that you'll do for the duration of that unit. And so today it's Math Mountains for 100 or two-digit numbers. So make sure you go to my website. Make sure you go to empowerlearngrow.com. Again, it's empowerlearngrow.com, and you get my freebies. I've put script cards on there just for your student leaders and for you. So laminate them. They're different than the cheat sheets. The cheat sheets tell you kind of all the background information as well as the prompts. The script cards just tell you the prompts. So it'll be really easy to laminate, have in front of the room, and you just say it the same way every time. So the student leader is going to come to the front and they're going to make a math mountain. And they're going to first choose the number 100 as my total. And then they're going to choose one of the partners to 100. So let's say they choose 80. And then we know that this is the unknown. So they may put the unknown box, the missing box. I'm going to say by this point in second grade, we should move to the variable. So I'm going to go ahead and move my unknown box, and I'm going to put, let's say M for missing number or M for missing addend. And I want them to find M. And so the student leader is going to say, class, what is the unknown addend? Or class, what is M? And so we're going to figure out what M equals. Now, this is when students can do a turn and talk. This is where students could work independently on boards, give them a time frame to find out how can you figure out what M equals. And as they figure out what M equals, this would be a great part of the routine to kind of turn into a number talk. So maybe the student leader says, Johnny, and Johnny says the missing addend is 20. And he says, how did you get 20? And he might say, well, I know that 8 plus 2 equals 10. So 80 plus 20 would equal 100. So he used his make a 10 fact. Now, whatever it is that he says, however Johnny says that he got that other total or that other addend, you need to make visual. You need to write it down. So I don't want to necessarily have the student leader do that. I would probably do that as the teacher, but you decide how you want to run that. But although Johnny's saying he used his make a 10 fact, you've got some friends out there that have no idea what Johnny's talking about. Okay, so make it as visual as you can so that kids start to know what he's talking about. Another way he might say it is, well, I have 80. And I counted on to 20, and I counted on by 10. So if he said he counted on, your question is, how did you count on? Make sure you don't project, because maybe he counted on by 81, 82, and he counted on by ones. We hope not, but maybe he did. So you only want to write down what he actually did. So he says, I counted on. I say, Johnny, what do you mean you counted on? And he said, I did 80, and then I counted on by tens. 80, 90, 100. I counted on two tens to get to 100. So my missing addend was 20. And then he could put 20 here in place of the M. So you're going to want to have students share how they did their missing addend so that you can start to build that flexibility. Kids see the numbers different ways, but this should not be an example of kids taking 100 and subtracting 80 in an algorithm. There's no reason to stack these numbers. Those are very friendly numbers. So it's in this routine that we're really fostering that flexibility. So make sure you have kids that can say a couple of different ways that they did it. Now that we know that M, in fact, I could put it down here, M equals 20, and I could even put 20 up here now, I want students to generate all the equations that match. So we're going to be pretty particular with this. So we might say 100 equals 80 plus 20. Now, if I were you, I'd have students do all their equations on their own math board. Doing this one at a time, calling on kids, is going to lose engagement super fast, and it's going to be like watching paint dry. It's going to take forever. Okay, so the student leader can be up at the board. He's writing all of the equations he thinks matches, and then students on their own boards could be writing all of their equations. You choose how you want to manage that, but I would definitely have kids coming up with the equations. Another equation would be 100 equals 20 plus 80. Now watch, because I'm going to switch it and I want this equal sign to go to the other end. And so another equation would be 20 plus 80 equals 100, or 80 plus 20 equals 100, or 100 minus 20 equals 80, or 100 minus 80 equals 20. Right? So you want to generate all of these equations. And then you would have the student leader say, boys and girls, check your equations. And as the student leader reads off his equations, which were probably checked by the teacher, students on their desks or on their boards would just do a check if they remembered that equation. It's okay if they didn't, they can add it on, but we want to have a way for them to start figuring out what's a pattern, what's a way for me to know that I didn't miss any equations and that I got them all. And so they could go through and check and label them all as they go through their equations. So boys and girls, what was our missing addend? 20. 80 plus 20 equals 100. As much as you can make this visual, maybe the student leader points to the math mountain every time while the teacher's the one that reads the equation. Or you have a second student leader that says 100 minus 80 equals 20. Meanwhile, the student leader is saying 100 minus 80 equals 20. Because generating these from this math mountain is still probably a little ambiguous to some students. We hope not if they've been using the math mountain since kindergarten, but it could be. So we want to make sure that we always point to where we're getting these from the math mountain and what order it goes in. So once you've done 100 as your total with 80 and 20 as its partners, you would do all of the different partners of 100 for several days. But after you finish that, then you want to move to a non-100 number. So like 68, 56. Have student leaders choose a different 2-digit number here and then only write in one of their addends. Okay, so remember, this part is only for the 100 for about 10 days, and then you want to change that total so that students start to get better and more flexible with numbers and coming up with that missing addend. All right, everyone, I hope that was helpful. Be sure to go to empowerlearngrow.com to grab your freebie so that you have a script card to go along with his routine. And then check out the other videos, because there's going to be a video for every new part of the routine. And I'm going to tell you that Unit 6 has a second one. So be sure to click the second unit or the second daily routine for Unit 6. Thanks, everyone. Go be great.